yeah, let's get into it. So this one is all about detox symptoms when we're having the Qenda. So yeah, if you've started the Qenda, hopefully you've experienced some detoxification symptoms, because that actually shows it's working. But the good thing is, when we see the detox symptoms, it can actually tell us a lot about what's going on inside our bodies at the same time as well. So we'll get into that. But we'll go over the most common detox symptom for people that I've seen come up in the group, and that's headaches. Most people say that they're getting headaches, and yes, that can be a symptom of detoxification, but what it is normally is the fact that they are not having enough water. And even if you're having the same amount of water as what you'd normally have in the daytime, the water that you add into the Qenda doesn't count to your daily intake of water. And then the fact that you're actually having extra fibre, and your body's doing all these detox processes, and it's healing and it's doing all this extra stuff. Now it's got the herbs to help it do all this extra stuff. It actually needs extra hydration to help that all them processes. So we want to make sure our urine is either a light yellow or a clear colour, and not a dark yellow or a dark brown. And yeah, if your urine's clear and light coloured, that means that you're hydrated. And so then if you have got a headache, it's just a symptom of detox, and that normally passes within a day, or obviously most of the time less than a day. But make sure you're drinking plenty of water. If you're anything like myself, as soon as I get a little bit dehydrated, I get a slight headache. My body's very sensitive, in tune, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, I think, and you might even find as you start cleansing with the Qenda, you start being able to feel your body and what's going on a lot more. And you can feel what's going on the inside. And like I just said then, obviously, if you get a slight little headache, you're like, oh yeah, get a drink and all the rest of it. I wish I had a drink. So then we'll go on to the second most common detox symptom that people say that they get with a Qenda. And the reason why this is so common, well, I'll say what it is first. It is bloating. I don't know many people that's had the Qenda and not had bloating. And if they're getting bloating, it's actually a very good sign. Like if I'm ever talking to clients or whatever, like first of all, before they even start the Qenda, I'm like, do you ever get bloating on the day to day? And normally they're like, oh yeah, sometimes. Or some people that are chronically ill or got really bad autoimmune conditions, they get bloating all the time, even before the Qenda. And that's because they've got bacterial overgrowths or fungal overgrowths or parasitic overgrowths inside the bodies. And then when they're having the carbohydrates, those carbohydrates are fermenting and then giving off a gas when they do ferment, and that's what creates that bloating feeling. I'll move that down a bit. So yeah, that's what gives that bloating feeling, and then the irritation, and helps create some of the inflammation and stuff. So and obviously it's not just the wind creating the inflammation. When you've got bacterial overgrowths, fungal overgrowths in your body, it's going to create inflammation, and they reside in intestinal lining and all around there. So they knock it all out of balance, which creates inflammation. Then you get the extra gas from when you eat carbohydrates, and then obviously you get the pain. I'm just thinking I might just turn these lights off because I look like I've got an angel next to me. Oh, that was better. Oh no, that's definitely not better. But yeah, let me turn the light back on. Sorry about that. I had to do a Zoom call inside today because it's raining. So when it rains in the van, you can hear it all pitter patter down. So yeah, we're doing it on the fly here. But yeah, that works. Like that. So yeah, now when we're talking bloating, when we have detoxification symptoms, and bloating when we have the Qenda, it's totally different to the bloating when you have overgrowth. Obviously, when you have bloating without the Qenda, it's carbs, fermenting, and then giving the gas. When you're consuming the Qenda, it's working on the same overgrowths that would normally ferment with the carbohydrates or make the carbohydrates ferment, but it's actually killing off those overgrowths. So you could have zero fermentable carbohydrates that would normally create the bloating, but still get bloating. And that's a good thing if you're having the Qenda, because it shows that it's actually killing off these overgrowths. And people find that they'll have quite bad bloating when they first start on the Qenda, and then it can go down and it can sort of come in waves. And that is actually a really good detoxification symptom, even though it might feel a little bit counterintuitive that you're getting bloated. It's actually a good thing, especially if we're not having these fermentable carbohydrates. And another comment, so that's the bloating. I think that's really interesting. So a key point, just to go over that again, if you're having Qenda and you're not having fermentable carbohydrates and you're still getting bloating, that means that it's definitely getting rid of some sort of overgrowth, whether it's like parasites, fungal, or bacterial overgrowths. Or when I say fungal overgrowth, I also mean like candida and yeast. That all goes with inside the fungus bracket. So yeah, that's bloating, and it obviously tells you a lot about your body. And then I'd say the third most common, or maybe even more so common than the bloating, is increased bowel movements. Obviously, when we have the Qenda, we get increased bowel movements. The whole point of the Qenda is it has some herbs in there that stimulates peristalsis. Peristalsis is the contractions of the intestinal muscles, and that's what moves stuff along. So yeah, the Qenda does do that. And obviously we live in a society now that needs help with the bowel movements. A lot of people are on like medical laxatives or some form of something to keep them going. And even people that have loose stools and diarrhea, there's nothing wrong with having the herbs in there that stimulate peristalsis and move stuff along, because those herbs are also in there to do other jobs of the Qenda. So we won't go into all the ingredients. We'll save that for another webinar. But yeah, it stimulates bowel movements for two reasons. One, because there's like stuff like cascara in there that stimulates peristalsis. And the second reason why we have increased bowel movements is because when our body's detoxing, cleansing, it's actually flushing out these toxins that have been knocking our body out of balance and creating our symptoms and our illnesses before. It's actually getting them out. And it's not just flushing them out from our intestines, it's actually flushing them out from like our liver, our kidneys, gallbladder. It's cleansing from all the body, because obviously when you have the Qenda on an empty stomach, it absorbs through that intestinal lining and then goes into your blood. Once it's in your blood, it can cleanse all your body, because your blood gets everywhere in your body. So yeah, like, and then as it's cleansing and detoxing, it's got to come out somewhere. So the best place for it to go is in the toilet. And that's why some people see increased bowel movements. Obviously, if you was not having any bowel movements a day normally, like maybe once every 3 weeks or something, it's definitely going to increase your bowel movements. Like, you're more than likely going to have one bowel movement a day at least. If you was already having a bowel movement a day or whatever, it will probably increase that. And obviously, like what I say is, if you're having 3 meals a day, you want to be having 3 bowel movements a day. So if you've had a lot of days where you haven't been having 3 bowel movements a day relative to your intake of meals, there's a lot of catching up to do, and there's a lot of cleansing to do. So that's why the bowel movements increase. And then you'll find as you progress through your Qenda cleanse, the bowel movements will start to normalize again. And that shows that your body's getting back into balance. But obviously, you've got to finish off the 3 to 4 month period, because healing comes in cycles and waves. You might think like, oh, I'm better, I'm fixed, I'm fine. And then maybe a few days later, you start feeling a little bit like upset stomach again, increased bowel movements again, maybe a little bit of nausea, something like that. All these symptoms that you can get when you're hungover. and the same symptoms you can get when you're cleansing, because a hangover is your body detoxing and cleansing itself. So yeah, that's a good way, that's an easy way I explain it to people. But yeah, so that's why you can get increased bowel movements. But obviously, if you was anything like me when I first started Qenda and I had ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease, I went from like 30 bowel movements a day down to like 6 bowel movements a day just on day one. So it can increase your bowel movements, but it's just doing whatever it needs to do inside your body. So we've gone over like headaches, bloating, increased bowel movements, and then well, I think we should mention like rawness as well, because when people first start the Qenda, it can be very well, it can be anything depending on people's bodies, but normally it makes them feel better, and they get more, like after like say the first week, they'll get more mental clarity, better energy, and they'll feel how you normally would feel if your digestive system is working correctly. And that's quite a strange feeling for people, because they've been ill for so long that after a week or so on the Qenda, when you start getting the mental clarity and brain fog starts going and stuff, you're like, oh wow, yeah, like I didn't realize I was that bad, but now I feel this good. I realize that, yeah, that this is a good level to be at. But at some stages, and especially if we're cleansing out parasites, there can be quite a raw feeling in your intestines. And the way I describe this is like parasites, like worms, basically, wiggly worms, and they can lay their eggs in your intestines, and they can lay dormant for 6 to 8 weeks. And they actually lay their eggs inside your intestinal tissue, like embedded into your intestinal tissue. So then as you're cleansing stuff away out of like away from your intestines, and then also like that can feel quite raw. But then you've also got another way where it can feel quite raw, and that's if you've actually had a lot of impacted feces built up over your intestines, like if you haven't been having enough bowel movements in the daytime for a prolonged period of time, and you've actually got impacted feces built up, like stool built up, squashed against your intestinal lining, when you actually come away, and when that comes away and you start cleansing that away, there can be like inflammation and all the rest of the weird and wonderful stuff underneath that. So that's why there can be quite a raw feeling when you're cleansing. The body actually makes inflammation as part of the healing process. That's the first stage of the healing process. But the good news is when we give the body the Qenda, it is actually engaging and starting the healing process. Whereas normally when we get inflammation and we're not giving our body any healing supplements or the right supplements, it just starts a process of the immune system, and it just cascades, like inflammation, cysts, ulcerations, and then scarring and all the rest of it. But yeah, when we actually get a little bit of inflammation when we're cleansing, it can be for a few reasons, like I said, like parasites and their eggs literally coming away from the intestinal lining, so it can feel quite raw. It can be because like impacted feces is coming away, and we're like clear areas in your intestines and bringing stuff up out the pockets of the intestines and exposing areas that haven't been touched or felt in a long time because they've had feces squashed against them. And then also, like I said, the body creates inflammation to heal itself as well. So yeah, hopefully that can explain a little bit about what's going on. And I think I should say now, even though we're only we're halfway through, I probably should have said at the beginning, like you're not guaranteed to get all these detoxification symptoms. Like when I'm on a call with someone and they're just about to start the Qenda and stuff, they're like, oh, how's my body going to react? I'm like, I can't tell you exactly how your body's going to react because everybody's bodies are different. I can say like these list of detoxification symptoms, and I can say it's not going to taste very nice when you first drink it, but other than that, we'll see how your body goes as you go along. And I guess it's a good time to mention my coaching as well. That's why I do coaching with people, because the detox symptoms can obviously be quite scary, and it can feel sometimes like you're taking 10 steps backwards, and when you felt like you've progressed, and then you feel like you've gone like 10 steps backwards. So yeah, that's obviously where my coaching comes in. It's like to show people like, yeah, you are on the right track, keep going, and explain what's going on. And obviously people, if you don't want to do coaching, that's why I do these free things as well. But yeah, give me a message if you want some coaching. So we've gone headaches, bloating, increased bowel movements, and rawness. And yeah, how long have we been? It's been 17 minutes. I think, well, let's talk about detox symptoms on the skin as well. I didn't write that down, but I think that's an important one. Obviously, we have 4 elimination pathways: our breath, our sweat, our urine, and our feces. So, like I said, ideally, it'll come out in the toilet, but that's like the easiest option. But sometimes it can also come out in our sweat, and also in, when I say our sweat, I also mean our skin. Like it can come out as skin rashes or anything like that. I don't know how long you've been on the Qenda for, or if you've been keeping an eye on your skin. It's hard not to keep an eye on your skin because it's with you all the time. But I found when I was cleansing that I'd have little pimples on my fingers sometimes, and sometimes little spots there. But nothing more than that. But I've obviously helped people that have had like stuff come up on the skin, like a little rash or something. Oh, sorry, I feel a bit doom and gloom saying all these detox symptoms, but yeah, but it's all a good sign. Like if something comes out in your skin, it's actually just coming out. Or for example, I had a cold sore come up when I was about 20 days into my cleanse, and that's quite common for people that have the herpes virus in them. And I was speaking to Mr. Qenda at the time, and he said, yeah, that's normally like the virus sort of coming up and out your body, and he was like, you most likely not have them again. So that was interesting, and I think that's quite common with people. Like once they get their immune system balanced again, their gut health balance, that they no longer have these cold sores and all these symptoms of having a overactive immune function, and overactive immune system, should I say, and overfunctioning immune system. So yeah, I think that's quite interesting. There's not really much more to say on the skin, really, other than if you're not on the Qenda, that is like a detox symptom as well. Like I know that in my body, that if I'm getting a bit of or if I've had like a bug or a virus or something, my body odor actually does smell it smells a lot worse. Like obviously I'm walking around and I have Qenda as a maintenance dose and stuff, so my body's always quite balanced. But when I get run down, I do know my BO does get a bit bad, and that's just a bit of a sign that it's just one of your detoxification pathways, and it is a good one to it is good for stuff to come out in your breath and your sweat. And the same reason why people go in infrared saunas and saunas, like it is a very good way of getting stuff out of you. But yeah, so I think we've gone over the symptoms, and we've covered like what they mean with the overgrowths, which I think is very important. And yeah, so Mandy, if you have any questions, let me know, and then if you can unmute yourself, if you know how to do that. Oh, ask to unmute. There you go. That worked for you. Yeah. Hey, Mandy.
I didn't know if to go in the chat. Yeah, because that's why I was keen to get on tonight, because I had a couple of questions. Because I've been doing Qenda for a week now.
Yeah.
So I'm on, and what was interesting. So I've had like the increased bowel symptoms, and but then the funny thing was, like day 6, which was yesterday, So normally I would eat a salad each day and stuff. So I didn't have much vegetables yesterday. I don't know if that impacted it, but what, without being too like graphic, hopefully we're allowed to say on here, but you know, like,
hey, you can say whatever you want.
Yeah,
It's, we're talking about stools. Like, I know it's a taboo subject, but it's very important for health. So yeah, whatever you need to say about your stools and what's coming out or whatever, there's nothing that's not allowed. Like, there's no laws against talking about your body. So yeah, feel free, say what you need to.
So like, normally when I've been going, like, it's been like the black color of the Qenda, like, mainly that I've seen. But the funny enough thing, yesterday I didn't, the sort of bowel movements went down to about, I don't know if I went twice, and then the third time was almost like I was a bit of a struggle, but I did go, and I didn't have any of the blackness, which I thought was weird, because it was almost like it had been absorbed somewhere, which have you ever come across that before? I wondered what it meant.
Well, like, first question is, like, how much water are you mixing it in? Like, are you doing like the 2 scoops in like 300 to 400 ml and then washing it down with another 300 to 400 ml? And are you doing that like in the same time? Like, you're not waiting like 5 minutes between having the water, are you, or anything?
No, doing that straight away.
Yeah. And then are you watering it down anymore afterwards, or how long are you waiting after mixing your Qenda? And then
okay, I just kind of drink when I'm like I don't know how much more, because once I had that, then I feel quite full. So I just drink a little bit more, but probably, I don't know, another 500 ml or something, I don't know.
Like, cause
over a period of time, like, you know, should I drink a certain amount straight away, even after that, after the 2?
No, like ideally we'd have like the 600 to 800 ml total and the 2 scoops of Qenda. That would have gone in our 2 our drinks, and then so we've drank that, and then that'll go into our stomach, and then it can, like, depending on the person and your transit time and like your metabolism and stuff, and that will take like about half an hour to leave your stomach. So that's why I was asking how much water you was drinking afterwards, because if you didn't really wait like 20 minutes to half an hour, you could have actually watered it down a lot more. So so then it won't be the same dense black color because it's got more water in. So it'll it'd be a lighter brown color because it's been more watered down. So ideally, sorry.
Is that a bad thing? You need to try and keep it.
We want that 600 to 800 ml of jelly bulk going through you, because then it can reach all the pockets and areas of the intestines. And obviously, you know how that feels when you have a bowel movement with that. But if it hasn't came out like that at all, it sounds like it's just been watered down even more. So good job you asked, and good timing really, because so now just obviously before you have the Qenda, you can hydrate yourself, and then you won't feel so thirsty after you've drank the Qenda. So if you're you can drink water or lemon and water, or like even teas without milking or whatever, like up to 15 minutes before the Qenda.
Right.
And waiting for minutes, water drank to leave your stomach, and then you're giving space for the Qenda to go in. And so if you think about it, you drink, that takes 15 minutes to go down and leave your stomach, just all liquids, no carbs, no food or anything, just goes out in like 15 minutes. And then Qenda can leave your stomach anywhere between 15 to 30 minutes, but I found that it tends to be about 30 minutes for people. I know for me it's about 30 minutes, but I think I've got quite a slow digestion. You'll be able to maybe feel it with your body, but if you wait half an hour after your Qenda and then drink or then eat, it'll be better. So then you're not watering it down. So you might not have waited 15 minutes after you hydrated yourself in the morning, and then you might not have waited like 15 minutes to half an hour after the Qenda. And then if you did either of them, it could have watered it down. It sounds like that's what's gone on this time. it hasn't got I don't think it's got lost in your body. I think it's just been watered down so much, and then so obviously then it does just go stool coloured rather than like a more of a black colour.
Yeah. Okay. And is it best to hydrate before you have it, or does it matter?
Yes. Yeah. It's great to hydrate before, because then one, you're not going to be thirsty afterwards, and two, it hydrates your body. Because like if you think you've been asleep all night, you've been fasting basically. So even if you woke up in the night and had a sip of water or whatever, your body's had like a dry fast for most of the night, so it gets dehydrated in that time. So when we're waking up, we do want to be drinking a decent amount of water, and that'll help you. You'll fit in if you haven't been doing that. That's why I'm smiling, because you'll feel better from hydrating yourself in the morning. It's you'll feel a lot better, definitely.
And thank you for your record. I watched your recording from last week, and that was super helpful with the advice that you gave. So thank you for that. But
no worries.
I've picked up some good points. But what the thing is, I've got a bit of I've noticed that I'm not craving as much sugar, because I'd say I'm a bit of I was basically, before I was eating chocolate every day, and I would have like, I could have half a bar or more, and I've not been doing that, but I have still been having, because it's like I still want a little bit of sweetness, so I have been having these cookies that have, like, they're basically plain, but they've got a couple of chocolate bits in them. And am I really sort of setting myself back by doing that? Because it's really hard to like give up everything.
Yeah, like incremental. Like the thing is, you're taking the Qenda, like you're 6 days in or like 1 week in. It's like you haven't got to do everything in a day. Like, and as you've already found that, like you've already made an improvement by stopping like the chocolate bars and stuff, and you're minimizing your intake. Like that's amazing for week one. Like it's great, isn't it? And we all know how addictive sugar is. It's crazily addictive, and if it's anywhere near you, it's going to get eaten. So the fact that it's like that's what it's like for everybody. People are like, how do I stop eating sugar? Like, well, get it out your house, like, because otherwise it's going to be on the back of your mind all the time. But it takes a long time to learn to quit sugar. But you're already getting closer to cutting down on it, which is amazing. And that's fantastic. And also I think as you implement this hydration as well and get more hydrated, you'll find that that satiates you a little bit as well. So it's all incremental steps, but you're 1 week in, you're doing fantastic. But like depending on what you're dealing with, obviously, like I could ask you a million questions about where you're at and what you're dealing with. That's more for like a call or something. But without knowing anything, the fact that you're just reducing your sugar intake's great. And like I think I said last week about diet and stuff like that, it's the thing is, you're either feeding these overgrowths or you're getting rid of them. And the Qenda's obviously helping you get rid of them. And then if you can minimize when you're feeding them, you're really helping yourself. And you're only 1 week in. Like obviously you'll be starting week 2 soon, so you'll be going to the 2 twice a day, and then you're cleansing and healing twice fast. And watch the sugar cravings melt away. And also, like I said, with hydration. And the reason why we get sugar cravings is like, one, because we're just hungry, and our body, when we're like, if we just like miss a meal time and then we come home and it's like, give me sugar, because like you just know, and you'll just eat anything, because it's our bodies know that sugar absorbs quickly. Like sugar and alcohol is the 2 things that our stomach absorbs, the only 2 things our stomachs absorb. So that's why it wants sugar. And obviously if we're hungry and we've missed a meal, our blood sugars have gone low, so then we're craving sugar to bring the blood sugars back up, because obviously our brain needs a lot of glucose and stuff. So that's why we need the sugars. So the way to get around that is to make sure we're adequately fed, so we're getting a decent amount of protein in our diet, the right amount for us. Then also at least like one gram of protein per kilogram of body weight, and no, at least 0.75 grams of protein per 1 kilogram of body weight. It just goes up a lot more when we're like healing stuff, to give our body the protein to heal. And then also the other thing that makes us crave sugar as well is when we've already had sugar before. So it's still like low blood sugar again, but we've had sugar before. And because we've had them simple carbohydrates, if it's sugar or whatever, we have the sugar rush, and then we have the crash afterwards. And then when you have the crash, it's exactly the same. It's low blood sugar. So your body's like, oh, need that to fix it. So by having adequate protein and getting healthy fats in your diet as well, that really satiates you and fills you up a lot more. So you, if you're having healthy fats and proteins, and some decent carbs that aren't spiking your blood sugar, and they're not so starchy and they keep it a bit level. Obviously, you can work towards this. Then there's not really any need for the sugar cravings. And then obviously, that's all assuming that there's no parasites or anything in there. If you've got parasites or overgrowths, they can definitely influence you and give you the sugar cravings. So there's a few things going on there. And hopefully that explains why you feel like you sometimes just need the sugar. There's a lot of things, a lot of factors at play there, but making sure you're getting the adequate protein and fats so you feel satiated, making sure just knowing that if you're having things that are going to spike your blood sugar, it's going to drop, and then you're going to want to just keep raising it up, and then you're on this like wave all day, trying to just balance it out, and that actually can really stress your body out. You're going in the right way by cutting your sugars out, and and also a lack of nutrients as well. Like if your body's not getting nutrients, it's the same thing. It feels hungry and starving all the time, even though it's not. If you're not having like nutrient dense food or whatever, like I said, like the healthy fats and the proteins, your body will be craving stuff, and that's when once again it's like sugar's instant food, and that's where it comes in. Even though it's maybe not the healthiest thing, it's just trying to give you instant energy. So hopefully that makes a little bit of sense for you.
Thank you. And just lastly, I'll share this because I think you might like it. I think it was on day 4, because you have to keep checking the toilet every time. Well, I do. Yeah. And then I saw like on the top, I saw this, it's quite big, like, it's like sort of the palm of my hand, but it was like, obviously like feces, brown coloured. So I don't know if it could, but it literally had squiggly like that, almost like a worm, but a head. Yeah, it almost looked like a head. I don't know if that could have been something, but it was. I thought it was unusual to have this squiggly like a worm shape, and then this almost like a salamander head.
Oh wow! Awesome.
I wonder if that was something, even though it was, because I was expect that you'd just see it. I don't know. Like,
on its own. It's always like in the stool, isn't it? And like you hear so many people like literally bin in the toilet and pick stuff out. I don't really recommend that, especially unless you wear it, unless you've got marigolds on or something. I guess you could do that, but like I was the same. I was like, I ended up getting a picture on my phone and zooming in on my phone, and I was like, oh yeah, definitely them squiggles are.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, it's got to be something I've eaten. You're like, there's nothing I've consumed in the last year or two that looks anything like that. So that's fantastic. It's interesting that I had a big head on it as well. They're literally like aliens coming out of you, isn't it? But it sat, and like you probably, when you first heard me say it, probably thought, oh, that's horrible. But like that's normally your body telling you you've got them for a start. And it is actually quite euphoric when you see them in the toilet. Quite confusing because you're like, is it, isn't it? But when you actually start realizing, if you see the same stuff over and over again, you're like, oh wow, yeah, this has been making me feel crap. This is creating my symptoms and stuff. So then you realize it wasn't your body letting you down. It was actually these parasites and organisms living inside you. So that's awesome.
It had to be something, because the fact that it was this curd that you just wouldn't do something like that, would you? It was just this squiggly shape. So yeah.
Oh wow.
So
yeah, that's great news.
I took a picture.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. Yeah, that's fantastic. So and obviously that was craving sugar as well. So that's that's one bunch of your sugar cravings gone already, because you don't have to feed that thing anymore. Yeah, I'm excited for you to get onto the 2 scoops twice a day, and then obviously yeah, that can be really good for cleansing and healing twice as fast. So
yeah, thank you so much, James. I really appreciate this. It's so helpful. So thank you.
Yeah, no worries. I know it was only you on, but that's my fault for that. I didn't even send emails out this time. I've just been so busy, so I just put it on the group. And but yeah, I'm glad it's helped, and I know people see the recording. So yeah, thanks for coming on, Mandy. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you.
Keep smiling. Bye.
Bye bye.